Good afternoon. Quentin Liggins here with Tulsa Public Schools, and we are excited to be bringing you our first Faces of CPS. I will let our guest introduce herself, and we're going to ask a few questions so you all in the community can learn about the great people we have working here in Tulsa Public Schools. Dr. Carter?
Thank you, Quentin. I didn't know I was the first one, but just glad to be here. My name is Dr. Charlotte Carter, and I've been with the district for 8 years now, almost 9. I have an anniversary in May, and it's just been an exciting journey to be with Tulsa Public Schools. I believe in the vision. I believe in the mission of Tulsa Public Schools, and most of all, I believe in all of our wonderful students.
Awesome. So just tell us a little bit more about your journey with Tulsa Public Schools.
Thanks. Well, I started in 2012 as a project manager, and I was brought in, and I actually had some colleagues that worked at Tulsa Public Schools in IT, and they liked the good work that we had done at the city of Tulsa, and I ended up here at Tulsa Public Schools. Started as teaching a lot of the IT folks more about project management, why it's important. And my first large project was managed print services. And that's where we have a device that's a scanner, printer, fax, and copier, and deployed that through all 100 schools. And so that was one of my first projects as a project manager.
Awesome. What brings you joy during your day-to-day with us here at TPS?
What brings me joy is the thought that I do have impact on students and teachers. I know that when we, for instance, in District Starter Schools, which is one of the projects that the Strategic Deployment Office does, and I'm the director, and one of the things we want to do is make sure that the first day of school, that it is as positive and successful for students as possible. And in so doing that, during the summer, we're busy making sure that curriculum, making sure that all the IT components are there, making sure that for construction sites, that everything's in place. And so the whole thought of when a child comes to school that first day, that we have an impact on that experience. And that's what I try to do each and every day, to make sure that what I do, the input I make, has joy and has impact on students, and the equality, to make sure everybody gets the same thing the same way.
Such a powerful story. So what personal or professional goal have you accomplished during your journey with Tulsa Public Schools?
Well, since I've been at Tulsa Public Schools, I've grown as a leader. I've grown as a professional. Some of the things that's dear to my heart that I'm really proud of is the Monroe Demonstration Academy. I had a major part in play with working with the North Tulsa Community Education Task Force and a liaison with TPS, as well as working with the school leaders and the teachers and the community as a whole, and bringing that into fruition with many, many other people. I don't want to say that I was the only one, but that was really a proud moment for me. And recently I went on that campus, and I actually had the hairs on my neck and my arms stood up because, 2 years after that experience, there's kiddos that are learning and achieving, and the community's all in. And so those are things that make me feel good as an employee and even as a citizen of this great city of Tulsa.
Well, I will ask for you to tell us a little bit about how you earned your Dr. Carter as well.
Well, thanks. I could not leave that out. And that was a 4-year journey. As I was working at Tulsa Public Schools, I am an IT professional. I have been in IT for 31 years. I know I don't look that old, but I have been in the field. But I also wanted to understand more from a administrator point of view. I wanted to know more from my clients, the people I serve. What do they think? What do they feel? And just education has always interested me. And so I have an MBA, but I actually flipped the script a little bit and decided that I wanted to pursue a doctorate in education, which is education, administration, curriculum, and supervision is my minor. And I started that the first time that I applied to the University of Oklahoma, the Tulsa campus, I got denied. You have to apply and submit writings and such. And I was devastated, Quinn. I was devastated. But you know what? One of the things that I've learned in life that if you fall down, you get right back up. A year later, I picked myself up. I had some great mentors, and I applied again, and I made it. And then that journey was a 4-year journey. So it wasn't something that I obtained right away. I started in 2016, and I actually graduated in April of 2020. I actually defended my dissertation, and it was a glorious time for me. I even had some family members that were able, because we're in the pandemic, and I had to defend my dissertation remotely. And so my aunt from Seattle was able to participate in my defense, and my cousin as well. And so that's a huge achievement for me. I always felt like I wanted to be an example. And if I can do it, I went to school in Oklahoma City at a small school. And if I can do it and achieve it, then anyone can. It's a lot of it is stick-to-itiveness and having that determination to never give up. And so I graduated. I am Dr. Charlotte Carter. It's a great achievement for me and something that I'm continuing going to build upon. And eventually I do want to have my own school.
All right. Well, Dr. Carter, you're an inspiration to me, and I appreciate your leadership in the district. And my last question is, Tulsa Public Schools core values are equity, character, excellence, team, and joy. How do those values play out in your world?
Well, thanks, Quinn. That's a great question. Well, team is so important. No one can do it alone. And we, as a district, we talk about Team Tulsa. So we're all about team and working together. And everybody's role is important. Everybody. So I believe in team. Project management is all about teams. A lot of people don't report to me, but as a team, some of the teams I lead can be 50 to 60 people or more. So team is important. And not only I want to be a good team leader, but a good team contributor, because sometimes I contribute as a team member. So that's one example. Joy. I try to do things with joy. I'm one of those people that I may be dancing or singing. You never know. I like to lead the MLK in some of the past MLK parades. I'll be one out in front doing our cheer and also doing our dancing. So it's important to me to enjoy what I do. And that's what I try to exemplify, because it just picks up the mood of everybody, doing it joyfully. I would talk about equity. Everybody doesn't necessarily need the same thing the same way. And so I try to make sure that when I do a particular project or a program, that we're meeting the needs of the people that we're serving in the way they need it. And so I'm always thinking through that. And then you always think through how you can do it better, not just what you did before, but trying to take and elevate a little bit higher and to make sure that people are getting what they need when they need it. And then I'll talk about character. You know, I try to pride myself is that if Dr. Charlotte Carter says she's going to do it, is about a 99.9% chance that that's going to happen, because I believe my word is my bond. I believe that I should practice what I preach. And so having a positive and good character is important to me. And then lastly, which is the one that I missed, character, team, joy. Did I miss one?
Excellence.
Excellence. How did I forget that? Excellence is very important. And actually, as part of my leadership philosophy is excellence, because if you're going to do it the best that you can. And if you don't know how, learn how. And that's one of the things I strive to do. I like to solve complex problems. And I want to do that with excellence while I'm doing it with joy, having the best character. I'm being a team leader and team contributor. And I'm just making sure that things are happening in an equity point of view, and that I'm really just trying to be a good person and serve. I believe in serving. I'm a servant leader, and I want to serve all the many wonderful students that we have at Tulsa Public Schools.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sharing your story. I will pass it now to our great video, and I wish you all who are watching a wonderful day.